I just want to put this out there that our buddy Steven Jacksheimer, who is a fan of this show, he got into a serious car accident.
Yeah, I think it was head trauma. I think he had multiple injuries from what I had heard.
Yeah, he was in a car accident. There is a GoFundMe in our page, in our social media page, Instagram. There is a link to the GoFundMe, so every little bit helps for our friend Steve Jacksheimer. We
definitely, if you're able to.
Yeah, we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets well really, really soon. But there is that GoFundMe for him, so every little bit helps, and we really appreciate if you could go and click on our homepage and then to the link and give out a donation. He is our boy. We hope to have him on the podcast really, really soon. And yeah, we hope for a speedy recovery for our boy Steven Jacksheimer.
Also, props getting the GoFundMe all together, and props to everybody that's donated so far. I know it's up to like 35,000 last time I checked.
I think it was doing really well.
Yeah, it's good.
Donate if you can, and just Steve, feel better, man. Best of wishes.
Shout out to his day ones and his family.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what they're going through right now. All right, so let's go and get this pick'em started, baby. Our last pick'ems of the season. It's playoff time.
Playoff time last.
Well, actually, some people don't count the wild card.
I never knew that
playoffs,
or like I never knew if it counted or not, because I know some people don't count it.
Well, some people don't count it, some people do count it, but we can all agree that everyone's counting the playoffs as of right now for this week. So it's playoff time for all.
I might be like 40 points behind, but I think I might make a comeback this week.
Maybe
this will be his week.
You got to make some pretty crazy picks.
Yeah, you need to picks.
I can't pick the Ravens because I went against the Ravens last week. So that means that I would have to go and pick the Bills if I want points. Even if I didn't have the Ravens pick, I would still have picked the Bills. Just because that offense is just destroying their last 5 or 6 games. They have been putting over 25 points in all the games that they have played against, all the opponents that they have played against, except for like one team. They were like in 20, like they only scored, the Bills only scored 24 points, but still everything above 25, and it's like significantly higher. Like I'm pretty sure they scored 56 points against the Miami Dolphins in like week 16 or something like that, which is pretty fucking huge, if I have to say. So I don't think the Ravens stand a chance. So I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, even if even if I wasn't forced to pick them. So the Buffalo Bills would be my pick against the Ravens. All right, Morgan.
My screen sharing, did you turn yours off?
Yeah.
I'm also going Bills. The same thing happened to me last week, and the Ravens pulled it off. But like the Titans had one, and I did get to choose between the Bills and Titans. I would have chose Bills to advance to the AFC Championship either way.
Yeah, Bills are a really good team. All right, Scotty, who'd you pick? So you picked the Bills.
Yeah, he had to. All three of us got the Titans, Ravens one wrong.
Yeah, I picked Buffalo. I think they're going to beat the Ravens. Why didn't you show my bracket?
Yeah, I was in the middle of doing it. Hold on. There you go.
There we go. Whoa. Don't show that teaser.
Woo. You picked the
Still
Browns. All right.
You
well,
never know what kind of team you're gonna get, brother.
Okay, so let's start off with Scott since we already know.
Yeah.
Next up, he has the Browns beating the Chiefs.
Let me tell
Browns
you
beating the
boys
Chiefs.
something.
Honestly, okay, hold on. For real though, I think that's a pretty good. I would say that's a pretty good bold pick.
Yeah,
Let me
Even
tell
though
you.
he kind of even though he's kind of forced to say it because he is behind a
So
lot.
down
So
on
I would say
points.
this is a pretty good pick. Not gonna lie.
Let me tell you something. I was impressed with how the Browns played against the Steelers. Steelers overrated, but regardless, I was impressed. Chiefs defense, it's all right. You know, the Browns got weapons. Browns got a decent defense too. I think they go to Kansas City and they pull the upset. And then they ride to the AFC Championship.
Not a bad pick.
Stand up for that one.
And not a bad bold prediction, I think. I mean, you got to remember that the Chiefs lost against the Chargers week 17. However, I'm sure it's because a lot of the players opted out of playing that game.
You got to look at it this way. First time in since 2002.
They're going all the way.
I feel like they're going to get some weird juju going their way. They're going to get the football gods look at them and be like, let's give them a pass this time. They're from Cleveland.
Yeah, maybe it's just the 2020.
And then they'll win the Super Bowl, and then they be bad again for 30 years.
Because the Browns are so cursed that when it comes to 2020 regular season,
if any team can win the Super Bowl, it's the Browns.
It's the Browns this year.
But
to be honest.
guess what?
I didn't also. I went with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are probably the best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be the team to beat. So I went with Chiefs.
I went with so I wasn't forced to pick any team, but to be realistic here, I went with the Chiefs.
Cleveland.
I went with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are such a really good team right now. I think they beat the Browns pretty good. I think Baker's still going to have a great game, though. I think he's going to try to pull off his playoff performance like he had against the Steelers. But I think the Chiefs are just a little bit too strong. I think it's going to be a close game, I think, because of what the Browns just came off of. But I think the Chiefs are just an overall better team, and I think the Chiefs will beat the Browns.
Holy shit, what the fuck is that?
I like how you just see his eyes like showing.
Nobody told me that you had an alien in your house.
He looked like an alien right there.
What are you talking about?
Wilson. Because before I had him like this, he was like sitting, but like he was looking at, and all you saw were his black eyes.
You look like a fucking gremlin.
Yeah.
All right, Scotty. We're going to go to the other side, and we're going to see that let's go top. All right, So you picked the Bucs over the Saints.
Uh-huh.
Want to elaborate on that?
Tom Brady, Drew Brees. It's going to be historic.
I think this is going to be a great game.
It's Tom Brady, the fucking GOAT. Doesn't matter if he's on New England, the Buccaneers. It's the playoffs, and Tom Brady only knows what to do in the playoffs is, for the most part, win. And he's going to do that over Drew Brees this weekend. Mark my words.
Okay.
I think.
Good
Hopefully.
pick.
Maybe I'm
Good
wrong.
pick.
I don't know. I probably am.
All right, Morgan, your turn. So you picked the Bucs too.
I don't even know where it went now, but yeah, I chose the Bucs also. I think it's a toss-up. I don't like the Saints' luck that they've had in the playoffs in recent years. I didn't like how they looked against the Bears, their offense last week. That made me nervous. I don't know. It's so tough because the Bucs defense and the Bucs offensive play calling has been inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Saints, their offense has been inconsistent, and they don't have very good luck in the playoffs in recent years. So it was a toss-up. So I just went with Brady. I feel like that was a
Brady and the Bucs, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Nice
so
tapestry.
now I picked. So this honestly was definitely the hardest.
I think that was the hardest game this week.
I I honestly couldn't. This one definitely took me the longest to figure out between the Saints and the Bucks. And I had to do some research on it, and I think both teams are really good. I think the Bucks are definitely a Super Bowl contender. I think they're a really great team. And and if anything, any team in the NFC against the Packers, I would say that the Buccaneers are the most scariest team. And I wouldn't want to go up against them because I think they're the most competitive team against the Packers. However, I went with the Saints.
And yeah,
if I could whistle, I would.
And the reason why I went with the Saints is because the Saints have the Bucks number right now. They are 2-0 against the Bucks. They have beaten the Bucks pretty badly every time that they have faced off this regular season, especially the last game. They held Tom Brady to only 3 points in that game, giving him 3 interceptions, and nearly half of Tom Brady's interceptions have gone to the Saints, with 2 in his first game against the Saints, or like the very first game of the season. So I think there's something there. I don't think Tom Brady has the Saints figured out. I think the Saints sweep them this season. I think Drew Brees is itching for another Super Bowl. Tom Brady has enough. It's way too many. I think Drew Brees is more hungrier, though.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like Brady's.
I was gonna rephrase and say that Tom Brady is a very hungry individual.
You don't think Tom Brady wants
but he shows it externally. You don't know Drew Brees' internal intentions, or
I think Brady might be hungrier.
I think Brady just shows it more than any other quarterback that we know. So
I honestly think Brady might be hungrier. I think
it's because he shows it more, though. He shows it more.
No, I don't think that's why. I just think him winning a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick would mean more to him than winning a second Super Bowl would mean to Drew Brees. I think all Brady probably hears, and like when he's on social media, he probably sees all the comments saying like, yeah, Bill made Brady and all that. I think he's dying to prove that he didn't need Bill.
Yeah, you could say that.
Plus, wouldn't it be awesome to say that you won a Super Bowl on 2 different teams? Not many people can say that.
Peyton Manning can say that.
As a QB.
Oh, yeah, Peyton Manning's a QB.
As an all-time great.
Peyton Manning is considered an all-time great.
In the regular season.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, yeah, so I'm saying Saints. I am pulling for the Saints to win this game. I like the Saints a lot.
Really? You don't want to see Brady versus Rodgers?
I do want to see Brady versus Rodgers, but if there was any other team in the NFC that I would be pulling for, it would be the Saints. I like the Saints a lot. I like Drew Brees a lot.
So you would rather see Brady versus Rodgers?
I would much rather see Brady versus Rodgers, because I would much rather see Rodgers just humiliate Tom Brady in the grandest stage. They've only played against regular season games with each other, but now these are games that actually matter, and I would definitely like to see Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers in a game that really fucking
in a spit-swapping makeout match.
Honestly.
Hey!
And I want the opportunity to laugh at those Brady lovers like yourselves. So,
all right, but if Aaron Rodgers gets humiliated, then you can never say.
Well, yeah, then that's gonna hurt. But it's a big risk, big reward. So I'm willing to take it. I would like to see Brady versus Rodgers. However, I
should work on Wall Street.
I was doing research, and I think the Saints are going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Saints have something over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that no one really can see. And I think
I think
Tom
research.
Brady is. I think he's shook. I think he's shook when he plays the Saints. I don't think he's really himself, really. I think Tom Brady is a great NFL quarterback, but I don't know. I don't see him beating the Saints here. So I'm going Saints. All right. So
did I already say my pick for that game? I did, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
And it looks like
that. On to your next one, Brendan.
Well, yeah. We can see that you picked The
Oh,
Packers.
you're showing my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
went with
worked out.
that was a pretty easy one.
Okay.
I mean, I think the
should-
Rams are really good. I think it's still going to be an interesting game to watch because the Rams defense is so good. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers does when Devontae Adams is locked up. Because Jalen Ramsey is most likely going to lock Devontae Adams up. And if Jalen Ramsey can't, then I'm giving a lot of credit to Rodgers' success this season to Devontae Adams because Jalen Ramsey's a phenomenal corner. But the main thing is the Rams offense isn't going to be able to keep up with the Packers no matter what. Even if the Packers run the ball all game, they're not going to be able to keep up.
What does Wilson say? I want to get his perspective.
Alexa, stop.
Wilson's still butthurt that the Seahawks lost. So,
Does he have the bandana on right now? The Seahawks bandana?
Yeah.
Oh. They're losers, kid. Take that shit off. You got to burn it
Nope.
without Morgan
Coming
looking.
from a guy that can't even. Never mind. I'm
Wait,
not gonna
what?
say that on the
Huh?
podcast.
What?
I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not gonna say it on the podcast. I'm not gonna say it. It's not.
If you have
podcast
something to
friendly.
say, Scott, you say it.
Ugh,
All right, Scott,
I
it's your
would.
turn.
Right.
I should have picked the Red X, but I went with the Packers.
I was waiting for you to do that.
I should have.
Oh,
Just
yeah. Because
throw
you're
any chances away you had.
I fucking hate the Packers.
I do too.
You should have left
I
the
don't
Red X.
I don't hate the Packers. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, I hate both.
Hey, is there any reason why you picked the Green Bay Packers, Scott?
Because I thought I couldn't pick the Red X. But now in retrospect, I was like, fuck it. I should have just picked the Red X. There's no retrospect.
All right.
If the Packers went up against a fucking group of pebbles and rocks, I'd pick the pebbles and rocks.
But you
I
won't
don't
pick the Red
care.
X, huh? Okay. Well, anyways, you know me. Well, I picked the Seahawks last time, so I'm forced to
Why do you get a Rams with a subtraction sign? It's bullshit.
Because he completely changed it. He didn't use the new one I sent.
What a loser.
Yeah, so I went I'm forced to go with the Green Bay Packers, but I'm a Green Bay Packers fan and I have pride against them, and I really honestly think that they would beat the Rams. So go Pack go. They advanced to the NFC conference. Good for Aaron Rodgers, good for the team. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of what they've done this season. Let's go on and hopefully make the Super Bowl.
All right.
So who's next?
Yeah, I mean, if your screen's up, do you want to just move over and show who you have winning the championship for the
NFC. AFC.
Start off with NFC, I guess.
No, I want you to start off with AFC.
Okay.
Ooh, behind the screens.
All right. So now this one took up second most of my time to pick. This one was hard between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Both teams are really good. They also faced off earlier in the season. I'm pretty sure they faced off week 1. The Chiefs have the Buffalo Bills' number. However, the Chiefs have fallen a little bit in the last couple games that they've played. They haven't been putting up as much points, much stats as the Buffalo Bills have in past games. Both teams. This was a really, really hard pick, and I would have said Kansas City Chiefs, but after doing further research of what the Bills are capable of, and honestly, I think that bye weeks and playoffs can be bullshit in a way. Especially when it comes to the Packers. The Packers are not good off of a bye week. Both teams are healthy, but I think the Buffalo Bills' offense is great. I think their defense is good. I think this is going to be a classic matchup. This is going to be a great-ass matchup. And I went with the Buffalo Bills going into the Super Bowl, winning the AFC Championship.
Yachty.
Yeah, Bills Mafia. I'm rooting for them. I'm happy for them. But do they get their first Super Bowl win? No. We'll leave it up for the next round for you guys.
I'm going with the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes just has more I feel like he's just like cool, calm, and collected. And I feel like Josh Allen can get flustered, especially if the Chiefs go up quick. You did say that the Chiefs have been scoring less later in the season, but to me, like watching the Chiefs games, it just seems like they're more so bored because it seems like everything's just too easy to them. Like they like they kind of just like hit the brakes once they go up by a certain amount and let the team catch up and then finish the game. Then teams can't beat them. So I went with the Chiefs. I think that offense is going to be really, really tough to stop. Yeah, I don't know. And then I just would choose Mahomes over Josh Allen, and who I think would perform better in the playoffs. Though I wouldn't mind seeing the Bills make it. I like Josh Allen. I like Stephon Diggs.
Should have picked that Red X.
All right. Go ahead, Scott.
No shocker for me if you could show the screen, Brendan, but I went with the Cleveland Browns. This was a kind of a tough pick for me, too. I really waited. I was like, the Buffalo Bills, they got a great team. Really good on both sides of the ball. But something about Cleveland, I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2002. Hullabaloo, din don, Cleveland goes on to the Super Bowl.
I mean, if that happens, I'm very happy for the Browns.
I am too. Browns fans deserve it.
Yeah.
Hey, I never said that they were gonna win it.
They've gone through some shit, honestly.
Yeah, get second place.
You went with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Green Bay Packers.
Tom Brady, seasoned veteran. Aaron Rodgers, seasoned bitch. Not really a tough pick. Overrated. Aaron Rodgers, overrated. And I can't say it enough, but
overrated,
smelly, and overrated. Brady gets it done, and he gets into the Super Bowl. We have a classic of all classics. Who would have seen it? Cleveland versus Tampa Bay.
Two of the worst franchises.
Turning it around. 2021 is insane, and we're only in the first couple of weeks, let me tell you. And they put on
what?
So I did the math, and even if we get if Scott gets everything right and we get it wrong, he still won't have enough points. So how about, can we do it so Scott has somewhat of a chance that if he gets the final score correct, we'll add 10 points to his score?
I think we should leave it up.
If it gets 28-17,
I think we should get the score exactly correct with the exact teams and everything. Because imagine he gets all this correct and he gets all those points, but then he still loses.
Yeah.
Let's give him 10 points.
How about we leave it up to an Instagram story post and you let them vote on it?
That's an interesting look for a Super Bowl.
All right, but they put on a clinic, 28-17. Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl now.
7th, yeah.
7th Super Bowl.
All right.
On a different team. Tampa Bay takes home the gold. Cleveland gets second place. Holy shit, 2020's off to a wild start.
So I had the Buffalo Bills going into the AFC spot in the Super Bowl. Between the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints, honestly, if this was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Saints spot, I would have went with the Tampa Bay pick.
Why? Because Aaron Rodgers sucks in championship games?
No, because
if
we go back to week 4, I believe, week 5 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, off of a bye week, as I previously mentioned, the Packers are terrible when it comes to coming off of a bye week. I don't know what it is.
Off of a bye week.
They've had some bad history coming off of
but by the time this championship game happens, they won't be.
I understand. Yes, I understand. But I'm actually talking about what happened previously when we lost against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in week 4. We were coming off. In week 5, we were coming off of a bye week in week 4. and that was a very humiliating game. We were doing good in the first 5 minutes of that game, but then Aaron Rodgers threw a pick six. He's done that like 5 or 6 times his whole career. It shook him.
He shook, not stormed.
But we have the Saints' number in the season. We have faced off against them. We have beaten them, and I think we have a stronger team now going into the playoffs. I think the Saints have been a little bit weaker going in, so I think the Green Bay Packers beat the New Orleans Saints and head into the Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills. Now, I'll say my Super Bowl pick.
All right.
Between the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers, this is going to be another one of those classic matchups. However,
I wonder which one he's going to pick.
Does Bills Mafia? I think Bills. I think the Bills are cursed. They haven't won a Super Bowl yet. They've been to 4 Super Bowls already, back to back.
Lost all of them.
I can't
imagine being a Bills fan.
In the 90s, early 90s. But it's 2020, and
hey, it's 2021.
This could be their game. However, I'm a big old Green Bay Packers cheesehead, and I went with the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl, baby. MVP Aaron Rodgers.
How is the score 51? 51.
51, baby. 51. Total points.
We weren't doing total points.
You're an idiot.
You were supposed to put the actual score.
No, you guys are dumbasses because I texted you guys on how this was going to be. It was going to be total points. If you go back into the text messages, you'll see that it was total points, not fucking score.
Who puts total points?
That's how bracketology works.
No, that's not how March Madness works, you
yes,
idiot.
It does. Yes, it does. Oh, my God. Yes, it does.
You are about as
CBS March Madness. They do total points. You go on ESPN, they do 2 different scores. But on CBS, the March Madness that I use, they do total points. So Buffalo Bills.
I'm going back to find the text where you mentioned it because I don't remember you saying total points. Tiebreaker will be decided based on total points made by both teams. Total points made by both teams, though.
Yeah, total points made by both teams. Total points made by both teams.
And I just missed that part because it just sounds so stupid.
I mean, that's how a lot of bracketology.
All right, well, how about you be original? Why do you want to be like everybody else? Why don't you be unique? Why don't you carve your own portion in the podcast game?
Because I don't want to be a dumbass and be known as someone that does bracketology wrong, like you guys.
Oh, shut up. That's not why they're going to call you a dumbass.
Okay,
they're going to call you a dumbass for multitude
It's Morgan's
reasons.
pick. Morgan, you got to share your screen. What did you pick?
All right, nice
the last
tapestry.
pick
Where'd you get it from?
to determine the winner of the 2020 season pick'ems. NFL.
I'm just going to show, like, my entire bracket filled out.
Okay. Backtrack to Super Bowl 1. Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs, huh?
Yeah. I put the Packers beating Brady just because if that happened, it would be devastating. It's kind of like the Seahawks logic. Like, I would be so upset if that happened. At least, like, I'm getting the points in pick'ems.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Buccaneers, their team has just been very inconsistent, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I feel like if the Bucks go, like, if the Bucks go and beat the why can't I think of who they played last week? Oh, the Washington. They played well against Washington, though their defense did give up a lot of points to a no-name Heineke. And then
Taylor
Heineke.
And then if they find a way to beat the Saints on top of that. I feel like if they make it to the NFC Championship, like no matter how well Brady plays, I feel like that defense is just gonna it's just based on how inconsistent they've been. And then in the Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs winning. I really think the Chiefs are just gonna be like they're like the new Patriots, kind of like you kind of just know who's gonna win. That offense is just unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback, and I think I don't know. I just think the Chiefs, just from watching them all season, they just look like they're playing without like any urgency yet, and it seems like they're just cruising by. They're just winning easily. So I don't see any team stopping them.
If it came down to Packers versus Chiefs, I think Aaron Rodgers teaches Patrick Mahomes a lesson.
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers needs this playoff. This playoffs is probably more important. Okay, this playoffs is probably most important to Brady and Rodgers, in my opinion. I think they have the most to prove. I think Brady needs to prove he can win without Belichick, and Rodgers needs to prove he can get it done in the playoffs. Because the only time he ever made it to the Super Bowl and won was when his defense carried him. Every other year, he has not been able to do it. He has not performed well in any NFC Championship game. So I think this year is really important. He needs to at least make it to the Super Bowl. Because if not, he's looking like Peyton Manning, which is still great, an all-time great. But if you're not good in the playoffs, that hurts your resume bad. Rodgers makes it deep in the playoffs this year. Isn't it interesting how, like, the one year he was able to make it to the Super Bowl was when he had a top 5 O-line, phenomenal receiving core, and a top 5 defense. And then this year he has the top
during a
O-line.
pandemic.
He has a top 2 O-line, and he has a top 10 defense, and he has Devontae Adams, probably the most dominant receiver in the NFL, and he has Aaron Jones. Like, I don't know. I always find it more interesting when players, and like it means more to me when players can do it when they don't have those pieces. And when Rodgers has not had pieces, he doesn't play well.
You don't win Super Bowls unless you have that kind of team around you. If you do, then you're the GOAT. And I don't think Tom Brady has ever proved that to me. He's always been under the same offensive, defensive scheme, same team. He's a system quarterback. He's been under that system, and then now he's getting into now he's on a team, an ultimate team, about to make it far into the playoffs.
An ultimate team, in my opinion, is top 3 O-line, top 3 defense, and 2 at least top 5 receivers. Like, it's not this. The Bucs team has been very inconsistent. We've seen it all season.
That's
and
a super
lot of
team.
big names.
That's a super.
I would take Aaron Jones over.
That's a super team.
Yeah, I would take Aaron Jones.
I said he was a super team when he had those rankings in the midseason. I'm no longer saying that's a super team anymore. I'm saying now because he has some big names that are still good, that are still efficient and still productive.
Brown, you think of one of the greatest receivers of all time, receiver talents, but he's not that anymore. He's not like a real number 1 guy anymore.
Who?
Antonio Brown.
You have Antonio Brown. You have Mike Evans. You have
but Mike Evans.
You have Chris Godwin. Even Tom Brady said that Chris Godwin has the best hands that he's ever seen.
Okay, but does he even have Mike Evans this upcoming game?
Yes, he does.
Are you sure Mike Evans?
Oh wait, no, yeah, Mike Evans did get hurt.
Tore his ACL.
I don't know if did he tore his ACL? I know he got.
Based off of his reaction and
off the game.
Watching the replays, it looked like an ACL.
But still, even if you don't have Mike Evans, you still have Chris Godwin. You still got AB. You still
but Chris Godwin is more. Chris Godwin
have a really good running game. Leonard Fournette blew up the game last week.
Okay, but what does Brady
have? Having a good run now.
Does Brady have that Rodgers doesn't though? Because I'd say Brady has the better overall receiving core, but I would take Rodgers' number one receiver over Brady's number one. I would take Rodgers' O-line over
I
Brady's
would too,
O-line.
but the receiving
I would
core,
take-
I would much definitely pick Brady's over Rodgers.
Yeah, but then
I've
listen
always
to the
said
rest of it, though.
that a well-balanced receiving core is better than one great receiver. We've seen that many
But
times.
usually that's the case, but with how dominant Aaron or Devontae Adams has been, I don't think you need a receiving core. No one has been able to stop him. Even when they double team him, he still finds a way to get open. So that I think Devontae Adams is just at like the pinnacle of his career right now. I think there's nothing stopping him. That's why I said earlier, I think it'll be really interesting to see if Jalen Ramsey can stop him. And I think that will say a lot about Devontae Adams overall. But even say you give Brady the receiving core, I would still take Rodgers' number one over Brady's number one. I would still take Rodgers' O-line over Brady's O-line. And I would still take Aaron Jones over Leonard Fournette and what's his name? Ronald Jones, I think.
Yeah, Ronald Jones.
Yeah, I would still take and
But
I would take
football,
Aaron Jones and
but
Jamal
football
Williams.
isn't played by individualism. It's a team sport.
Yeah, but I just also listed the whole O-line. I would take the Packers O-line over the Bucks O-line, and I would take the Packers running back core over the Bucks. I would take the Packers running back core over the Bucks running back core.
Tom Brady has a top 10 rookie on his offensive line. Worth, I think his last name is.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs. He's playing well. Yeah, but I would still take the Packers O-line over the.
I mean, Packers O-line has always been really.
They're both really good O-lines, but the Packers O-line is ranked number 2 for a reason. They've been phenomenal.
But now look at defense though. Look at the whole 50% of the team now. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which are better than the Green Bay Packers defense. We have Darius Smith. We have Preston Smith. We have 2 good edge rushers.
Yeah, but if you have good
DBs. But when it comes to linebackers,
if you look at the stats throughout the season, though, both teams are so close that I will take the consistency of the Packers defense over the inconsistency of the Bucs defense. Because when the Bucs defense plays well, it plays really well. But then, like, once every, 3 games or so, they are complete shit and look like they should be a sub 20 ranked defense.
That's
the Packers.
So any chance that any team has against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is when they're not clicking. That's a hard team. That team is so worried about what each individual is doing that it hurts them in a way when they're playing these other teams, because you have all these great individual teammates, but a lot of them don't play like a team. They play individually. And I think that's what hurts them.
You know what else I would take? I just remembered too. I would absolutely 100% without a doubt take Matt LaFleur over Bruce Arians. I think Bruce Arians is a joke of an NFL coach.
Ooh.
He is a joke. He's like Brian Schottenheimer.
That's a good argument.
He's like Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator that just got fired for the Seahawks. Brian Schottenheimer was 100% the reason that the Seahawks had the second half of the season that they did, because teams started using 2 safeties deep against Russ because they realized all Brian Schottenheimer is calling is long developing deep passes. And instead of adjusting to that and being like, okay, they want to cover us deep, we'll take advantage of the short game and we'll just keep doing dink and dunks until we can keep it balanced. Brian Schottenheimer just kept going, and that's kind of like what Bruce Arians is. No matter what's happening with the defense, he will just keep having Brady and that offense keep doing deep passes. So and Matt LaFleur, I think, is a phenomenal coach. I think he's right now probably the top coach. So I would absolutely take him over Bruce Arians also.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they're clicking like a team, they are a very dangerous team. I think that they can. I think they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs if they are all on the same page.
Yeah, but that's a big if. That when they're all on the same page, that doesn't happen very often. I don't know. I think if you're gonna call the Bucks a super team, I think you have to call the Packers a super
I
team.
no longer call them a super team anymore. They're an ultimate team. They have big
I'd say
names that are
either
still
way,
really
I'd say
good.
both teams are very, very similar in terms of talent.
I think if they go into the NFC Championship game, I think it would be a classic ass match. I think this is going to be a match that everybody's going to be looking at. I don't think anybody's going to care about what's happening in the AFC if Tampa Bay,
it's going to overpower it completely.
Tampa Bay and the Packers are playing in the NFC Championship. I don't think anybody's going to give a fuck what's happening in the AFC.
No, not a chance, because the Chiefs are just going to be tearing it up.
Yeah, Chiefs are going to be tearing it up, but I still have hope.
Not when Cleveland has something to say about that. Fuck you.
That's the
end of the podcast.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
All right. That's it with this season's pick'ems. That's it. That's it. We plan to do it for next week. We are holding tryouts for our pick'ems next season. We hope to get how many people, Morgan, on our pick'ems? I would say probably 10, maybe.
I mean, as many as we can get would be cool. I think it's fun to do all season.
Yeah, I think so
like
too.
A guest one.
And I think one thing I think we should do different next season is like how we just did the playoffs. How like we all made our picks prior to doing this. So like it wasn't like I heard what you picked and you heard what I picked and we kind of like based our picks off of that, because like there were multiple times this season where I was like, well, we're picking all the same stuff, so I'm going to change it up. And there were times where you like wanted to change it up, so we had some different picks. So.
So pick before.
Yeah, have all our picks set, and then we'll just go down the line and like.
Okay.
We'll have all our choices made already.
All right.
Smart.
All right. Well, everyone, our viewers, DM us or anything like that. Message us individually, me, Morgan, or Scott, if you want in on our pick'ems. I know a few people want to do it. We would gladly have you on. I think the more the merrier. A lot of stuff that we can talk about on the pick'ems, and that wraps it up with this season's pick'ems. It was fun. I think this was a great segment. Who came up with this segment?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Good segment. Good
idea.
I
wish we started it earlier though.
Yeah, I know.
We started at week 5. I wish I came up with it earlier, but.
And that's the end of the podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye now.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Hi, Ryan.